We see the instant no-shield deployed from Tamez Tech. He's going to say, Scizor, thank you very much for your contributions, Corsola. I might be in the green, but blink, and you might miss it as Shadow Sharpedo hits the field of play. Welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be what I hope to be the first of many collaboration projects here on the YouTube platform. Today we have none other than the highly talented and highly entertaining Tamez Tech. He streams his battles live on Twitch. He's been doing that for a while, and he just happens to be one of my favourite battlers to watch. He's recently joined the YouTube platform, and trust me when I tell you, I know the grind. This platform is incredibly hard to get views. I've been doing this for quite some time now, and it's essentially just my dog and my mother that watch. But on a more serious note, and you enjoy my stuff, you're certainly going to enjoy his, so make sure you go check him out. Tamez today is giving us that buy one, get one free combination on destructive shadow glass cannons with Scizor and Sharpedo respectively. This team has zero bulk, even Decidueye, who, being brutally honest, isn't really known for his ability to tank a charge move. I have absolutely no idea how these battles go, but I guess there's only one way to find out. So without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game one, Tamez Tech's going to lead Shadow Sharpedo into Jellison. Despite us being a dark type, this actually isn't the best matchup, especially with shields in play. Shadow Sharpedo, if you even look at it the wrong way, it gets returned to its Pokéball. This jellyfish only throws on 4, which means it can only be a surf, which of course is supposed to be resisted, but almost picks up a one-hit KO. Sharpedo, undeterred, shrugs off the damage, fires off the crunch, guaranteeing the knockout or a shield advantage in this opening matchup. Out comes Decidueye. Looks like Tamez Tech, hoping to correctly shield with Shadow Ball, get the full astonished farm down afterwards. The opponent baits with the surf, so Tamez Tech forced to dump his energy. We throw the Spirit Shackle on CMP, winning CMP and removing this Jellison from the field of play. The opponent sends out more Peko. Tamez Tech doesn't even farm to the Frenzy Plant, just going to settle for the Spirit Shackle. This is resisted, but more Peko users love to shield everything, and we force the final protection of the game. Oh boy, is Scizor about to be straight in and straight out? Oof, trainer! Why would you Psychic Fangs there? The opponent throw the Psychic Fangs bait. We attempt to throw the Night Slash. The opponent returns the favour, making a catch onto a zoom on this game. Suddenly got complicated. Scizor looks to reach the Trailblaze. Before we get bubbled farm down, Scizor is able to reach the move, but unfortunately this Trailblaze won't be lethal. If the opponent bubble farm us down, this is game over. Scizor boosted, able to get the simultaneous KO. Decidueye re-enters the arena. Still with that shield to hide behind. Tamez Tech knows he can tank the first move, as Aura will be resisted. The opponent go for the Psychic Fangs bait, and let me tell you, trainer, that bait will not be saving your fate as Tamez Tech reaches yet another Spirit Shackle, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's that opponent. Heading into the next battle, Tamez Tech going to lead a Shadow Sharpedo into Greninja, another battle of water types. Fun fact, Sharpedo actually wins charge attack priority, but we do get outpaced. We've already seen that resisted surf almost knocked us out. So if the opponent falls in a Hydro Cannon, we're going to be straight in and straight out. Thankfully for us, the opponent fire off the Night Slash bait. Sharpedo shrugs off the damage, fires off the Poison Fang. Poison Fang falls protection and lowers Greninja's defense. That's crazy, man. This Greninja has only took resisted fast move pressure and finds itself in the red health range. Tamez Tech showing us all his massive pair of balls, called the Night Slash bait, shields the second Night Slash. Scizor does exit with residual energy, but quite low on HP. The opponent sends out their own Scizor. We're going to fire off the Night Slash, force the final Protect Shield, and here comes the Decidueye. Oh man, this is looking absolutely dire. The Decidueye going to invest the Protect Shield, blocking up the Night Slash. I imagine the opponent go for a catch. No catch attempt is made. ABA Water. What do we beat in the back? Oof, Clodsire. Probably not that. Tamez Tech able to reach the Frenzy Plant on the charge attack priority. How low is our Scizor? Surely this is a loss, right? Wait. Oh, we make it! Scizor able to reach the Night Slash. What looks like to be a charge attack priority. I thought we were absolutely doomed, but Tamez Tech gets the job done. Very, very well played. Heading into the next battle. What a lead. Sharpedo stares down Incineroar. The opponent saying no thank you. Save switch into Florges. It looks like Tamez Tech on the right side of an RPS matchup. Everyone hates to be RPS, but no one complains when you're on the right side of it. Tamez Tech Shrugs off the chilling water, gets the full bullet punch farm down, leaving minimal farm for that returning Incineroar. We probably died to one singular Fire Fang if I'm being brutally honest, as they are double super effective. Back out comes Incineroar, Trailblaze is resisted, but all chip damage is welcome. The opponent actually able to get off 2 Fire Fangs, but still shit their pants. Forced to pivot out into a Zoomer, and here comes the Scizor. Honestly, what an RPS matchup this is. Tamez going to be investing in a Protect Shield, blocking up the Ice Beam. I guess the opponent's only win con is the ability to make a catch at some point. Tamez not baiting, going to full send the Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant forces the opponent's first Protect Shield. Tamez able to reach the next one. On the charge attack priority, the opponent tanked the damage. Back out comes Incineroar, switch timers up, blinking you might miss it, tap, 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 and this is going to be a fast move beatdown all the way to the finish. Tamez doesn't even shield Sharpedo, recognising we can resist it, Astonish farm down, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, back-to-back Incineroar leads. A shout out to whoever put the Incineroar video out. I believe it was Home Size Henry, and Tamez is very much appreciative of it. Sharpedo gonna go for the one shield, a full waterfall farm down. If the opponent's staying in here, questions need to be answered. Clearly they've got something else that isn't going to fancy the Sharks' work. The opponent makes the pivot into Charger Bug. Crunch does absolutely absurd damage, and we send out Decidueye. Decidueye can tank 1x Scizor. It hits for neutral, but quite a lot of neutral damage at that. It all starts to make sense. Why the opponent stayed in the opening matchup, as they are ABA weak to water, as out comes Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen looking for the full resisted Mud Slap farm down to Decidueye like, nah. Simply not going to happen before the next Spirit Shackles reach. The opponent very quickly finds himself all shields down. Tamez now finds himself in the bait game or not. Oof, back-breaking catch. Was the opponent baiting? Were they full sending? That is an earth power catch. Absolutely savage catch there from Tamez Tamez sends out Scizor. This one is the Poison Fang bait. But no bait will be saving the opponent's fate, as Scizor's able to bullet punch farm down the remainder of the team, and we will be emerging victorious. Heading into the next battle, we see Shadow and Shadow Crime. A beautiful lead for us, unless they're an absolute lunatic running Fury Cutter, which I highly doubt. The opponent is indeed on Bullet Punch. They recognise them waterfalls are doing criminal damage and make the pivot into Florges. We've already seen how this one plays out. Tamez can tank the Chilling Water and get a full Bullet Punch farm down afterwards and leave quite minimal farm for whatever should come out next. Out comes Nidoqueen. Tamez going to fire off the Trailblaze, which does hit slightly harder than a Knife Slash and guarantee an attack buff too. Tamez sends out Sharpedo, despite Nidoqueen having around 40% remaining HP. 2 waterfalls get the job done, and this game is so over. We fire off the Poison Fang that is double resisted, forcing the opponent's first Protect Shield. And all we've got to do here is shield, tap, 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 tap. It's going to be high Scizor, by Scizor. Once again, we fast move, beat down everything, and take that game. Heading into the next battle, where I imagine we're going to see yet more fast move beatdown destruction. Whatever the quick move, this is an awful matchup for us. That happens to be on Bug Bite, which is probably worse, to be honest. Bug Bite does get the same type of attack bonus, and a one-turn move is going to shred through our non-existent HP. We're able to get the boost. The opponent bank their energy, make the pivot into Golisopod. Golisopod greeted with the boosted Night Slash, forcing the first protection of the game. It looks like the opponent going to be unable to Shadow Claw farm us down or reach the die and Night Slash. They are forced to dump some energy. Do we just sacrifice the Shark? It's got minimal play and we haven't got alignment. It looks like that's the play Tamez is going for. But actually last second, he invests the Protect Shield. Does get the Waterfall farm down. We're not quite at a crunch yet. Back out comes Fortress. Does the opponent know Sharpedo counts? Yes, they do. That is a double resisted move. But as with debuff their defense, they are going to look to dump energy. Whatever they throw will be moving the Shark from the field of play. We send out the Decidueye. Out comes Nidoqueen. I think we're actually home and dry here. The opponent got a one-turn switch, meaning we're going to always outpace. We fire off the Spirit Shackle. Spirit Shackle forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. Tamez going to shield up the incoming Poison Fang. These Astonishes tearing through Nidoqueen's HP. They've certainly found themselves in a range where the next Spirit Shackle will be lethal. Fortress dumped this energy, so we should be able to outpace to yet another Spirit Shackle. The opponent recognises they're going to get outpaced and they are going to concede the match. GG's to that opponent. In the next battle, Tamez is actually playing someone on my friends list. I played Joey Can a very long time ago in Sylph. We've seen this one play out. Hopefully, he goes for the Night Slash bait and doesn't full send a Hydro Cannon, as it's going to be a very sad Shark. Thankfully, it is the Night/Bait, which Sharpedo just about survives. Not well, but well enough to reach the Poison Fang, and Sharpedo is actually able to win the Zero Shield matchup. We pivot into Scizor. It looks like Tamaztec running an attack-weighted Scizor, able to win the charge attack priority, forcing the Protect Shield, and we get the boost. When you boost, you know what that means. Invest that bloody Protect Shield and ride that boost, hoping to ride it all the way to victory. Tamaztec going to go straight for the next Night Slash, recognizing he's going to win CMP. Night Slash removes the opposing Scizor from the field of play. No! Cypher, are you kidding me? Joey can, if you're watching, buddy. Send me some battles with that crazy backline. Whew, that was crazy. I'm always complaining how people love to run boring, bulky shit. Shout out Joey Can for that crazy line. And also you can see when you run some spice, you get rewarded with shiny legendary encounters. Oh my god, what an awful lead. I'm sure some of you are wondering, after going on a crazy 14-1 run to the cusp of legend rank, am I now legend? No, I'm not. I've used that bloody wireless team for the last 3 days, and I've been completely destroyed for 2 reasons, to be honest. That stupid spider Araquanid and Carbink has been making my life very miserable. Returning to the commentary, the opponent chips us, then make the pivot into Clodsire. Usually it's a good matchup with Scizor, not when we're at -1 or chip though, with that in mind. We sacrifice Scizor to the Pokegod, send out Sharpedo. Sharpedo able to get a massive waterfall farm there, leaving with the Poison Fang good to go. Back out comes Araquanid. Poison Fang goes unshielded. We make the pivot into Decidueye, and out comes Frostlass. Again, this looks very, very winnable. We waste no time. Fire off the Spirit Shackle. Spirit Shackle forces the Protect Shield. Look at the astonished damage. Absolutely criminal. Decidueye smelling blood in the water, recognising it can go for the 1 shield. Full astonished farm down. Not only getting the farm down, but also exiting with yet another Spirit Shackle. Back out comes the pesky spider. Spirit Shackle forces the opponent's final protection. The opponent looking for the Bug Bite farm down. They don't commit to it, but we receive the energy for the next Spirit Shackle. The opponent go for the Bubble Beam bait, but that bait will not be saving their fate, and Tamaztec gets some redemption. That bloody Spider-Man. Orphis been annoying the shit out of me. Heading into the next battle. We lead Shadow Sharpedo into Mandibuzz. On paper, a type-neutral matchup, as this is a battle of dark types, but in all neutral situations, Sharpedo is usually one that gets beat up, because we are so bloody glassy and cannot take a hit for shit. Undeterred, we fire off the Poison Fang on CMP, winning CMP. Poison Fang doesn't do too much, but does debuff the opponent's defense. Mandibuzz returns fire with the foul play. I'm not sure if that was an undercharge or that's just how pathetic Mandibuzz's damage output is. We make the aggressive pivot into Scizor, look to start loading up energy. The opponent not wish to concede a farm down, make the pivot into Nidoqueen. Night Slash forces the final protection. We get the boost. The opponent go for the Poison Fang bait. But that bait will not be saving Nidoqueen's fate. This boosted Night Slash easily going to knock him out. Oh boy, we're now 4-stage boosted, but unfortunately have minimal HP. But we're still able to bullet punch farm down Mandibuzz's remaining HP. Out comes the opponent's own Shadow Scizor, and this should be G to the G. Scizor does not tank fast with pressure well whatsoever. We can just shield this up, throw the Spirit Shackle, and we're going to be moving on. Or not. No, Tamaztec, you did this guy dirty. He makes the catch, which is actually quite risky, to be honest, as if they would have actually put a punch farmers down, they would have won CMP, but Tamaztec flexing and getting some style points. Heading into the next battle. I guess our target has been acquired. The opponent opted to stay in. No, it's actually a simul KO. Sharpedo, he had a type advantage matchup. You had one bloody job. And we wonder why no one uses Sharpedo, but can't even waterfall farm down a Nidoqueen. What exactly is this role in the meta? Come on, Jamie, stick to the commentary. We see Scizor into Murkrow. You can go for the 1 shield, full bullet punch farm down. Poor old Murkrow, unable to reach 2 moves, as the fast move pressure really is oppressive. Out comes Drifblim. We leave with the double Night Slash. The first one, force the opponent's first Protect Shield. Shadow Scizor gonna force the opponent all shields down, and here comes the Decidueye, and I'm sure you don't need me to tell you, we all know how this one's gonna end. The opponent gonna fire off the Icy Wind, hoping they can survive. Enough Astonishes and the Spirit Shackle, but that is literally never gonna happen. Spirit Shackle doesn't quite get the job done, but the next Astonish certainly does, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle. We see Sharpedo into Mandibuzz. We've seen this one play out before. On paper, a type neutral matchup. But in essence, a good lead for the opponent as Sharpedo just cannot tank these air slashes whatsoever. Tamaztech fires off the Poison Fang. Poison Fang goes unshielded. Last time we did survive the foul play. It looks like Tamaztech making a change of strategy. Going to fight for lead. Do 4 waterfalls knockout. Oh, heartbreaking they did not. We're now down a Protect Shield and we still lose this opening matchup. Let's see if Tamaztech can recover from losing lead and being down a shield. We send out Scizor, get a 1 bullet punch, a running start. The opponent sends out Nidoqueen, banks some energy before entering the mirror. This actually might give us a chance here. Night Slash, force the Protect Shield. We get the boost. Tamaztech instantly deploy the protection. That boost might be a get out of jail free card as the next Night Slash likely forces the opponent's final protection. They're going to be forced to dump energy too. Night Slash does exactly that. The opponent is going to have to throw. They are going to throw. And this Scizor is now nothing but free farm. Nidoqueen does have residual energy good to go. And the opponent doesn't concede farm either. Do we actually survive a Stone Edge? The Scizor not known for its bulk. Moment of truth time. We do survive the Stone Edge. Are they on Poison Jab? What the helly? Tamaztech has found the one trainer in the entire Go Battle League running Poison Jab Nidoqueen. And unfortunately that one does end in heartbreaking defeat. Heading into the next battle, we see Golisopod in the lead position. Potentially an okay matchup if they're on Shadow Claw, which they are. If they're on Fury Cutter, I imagine we'd say, Scizor, go quickly. We're going to invest the Protect Shield, blocking up the X-Scissor. Tamaztech going to throw 1 Waterfall and the Poison Fang. Poison Fang not going to do too much damage, but does force a Protect Shield and debuff their defense too. Tamaztech looks to make a catch. Please tell me the opponent has a 5-head and went for an Aqua Jet. Oh, beautiful catch. The opponent stays in. Look to fire off another charge move. Play to the CMP tire. They do not win. And Night Slash will be moving Golisopod from the field of play. Our Scizor now very severely chipped. But out comes Clodsire. And these Poison Stings are double resisted. Sludge Bomb's double resisted too. But Sludge Bomb... No, it doesn't knock out. Scizor might be glassy. But Clodsire, you bloody wet noodle. That simply isn't going to cut it. We send back out Sharpedo. The opponent makes the pivot into the Dedenne, and here comes the Scizor. The opponent farms what could be a play rough. They actually force in the play rough, and ouch, that hurt. The Scizor undeterred, one Astonish, and the Spirit Shackle. The opponent still has shield to hide behind. Look like they're going to save it for Clodsire. The Scizor able to Astonish, farm down, back out. Comes Clodsire. Clodsire looks for the Poison Sting, farm down, but unable to get it before the departing Spirit Shackles reach. Switch timer up. Here comes Sharpedo. Sharpedo able to sneak the Waterfall. And this is going to be game over. We shoot the Sludge Bomb. We're actually going to fire off the Poison Fang, which is non-stab and double resisted, but still going to be all she wrote. GG's for that opponent. It really isn't too often you're going to see a double resisted charge move knockout Clodsire. You absolutely love to see it. Heading into the next battle. Oof, that's tough. Scizor, go quickly, buddy. Tamaztech looks to utilise Scizor on the save switch. Unfortunately for us, this is the Volt Switch variant, which is definitely worse for us. These Volt Switches are hitting for neutral and they generate more energy too. Tamaztech this time doesn't get the boost, but 2 Night Slashes with the residual bullet punches do enable a knockout. Tamaztech maximises farm, playing 2 CMP, winning CMP, either going to force his Protect Shield back or cleanly knock this Fortress out. Forcing the Protect Shield is probably better for us, to be honest, as we can just Astonish farm down unless the opponent gives up switch. We send out the Scizor. The opponent looks to reach another charge move. They don't get there. We leave with residual energy and almost full health. The opponent sends out Corsola. Corsola going to be greeted with the Spirit Shackle. Spirit Shackle force the opponent's final Protect Shield. Tamaztech looks to play to CMP. The opponent take the extra. Spirit Shackle not quite enough to knock out. We attempt to snipe with Sharpedo. Snipe attempt unsuccessful. We see the battle of water types. Sharpedo going to win the race. Firing off the Poison Fang. Poison Fang goes unshielded. The opponent thinking the next one will do more, but potentially we can Waterfall farm down from here. Sharpedo going to invest the protection. The opponent go for the Ice Beam bait, but Sharpedo undeterred. Looks for the Waterfall farm down. Recognising we're not going to get it, but once again we trap the opponent into the charge attack priority. Poison Fang goes unshielded. The opponent put all their hopes and dreams on Corsola. Corsola re-enters the arena. Gonna fire off the Nightshade. Nightshade removes us from the field of play. No, they Astonish farm us down before we Astonish farm them down on that one. It does end in heartbreaking defeat. But GG's to both trainers. Heading into the next battle, we see another Greninja lead. Does this opponent actually full send a Hydro Cannon? Everyone to this point has gone for the Night Slash bait. And this opponent, much like all the others, once again Night Slash bait. So then send out a Azumarill. And that is definitely fine for us, as this Poison Fang gonna land for very decent, super effective damage. Potentially this means we can just send out Scizor, go for the one shield, full bullet punch farm down. Tamaztec has other ideas, fires off the Trailblaze goes unshielded, guaranteeing the attack buff too. Does Greninja re-enter the arena, or does the opponent reveal their third? I think sending out Jellison here is very, very questionable. Tamaztec over farms, fires off the Night Slash, should be forcing the first Protect Shield. We then farm up, make yet another savage catch. Tamaztec making catches left, right and centre. Surf, remove Sharpedo from the field of play. We've now got a 2-to-1 shield advantage. We send back out Scizor. Look to fire off the Night Slash, but unfortunately do get outpaced. But Tamaztec going to be happy with the opponents dump their energy. We send out Decidueye. Trainer, you need to pivot. Trainer, you need to pivot. I think if the opponent went instantly to Greninja here, they'd have a good chance of winning, just spamming Night Slash after Night Slash. But as they're going to concede a massive farm down, they've given us too much of an energy. Back out comes Greninja. We fire off the Spirit Shackle bait. Spirit Shackle forces the Protect Shield. Is this even a bait? These Astonishes chunking through Greninja's HP. Resisted Spirit Shackle removes them from the field of play. We're going to Astonish farm down Jellison and end today's video with a big fat dub. GG's and thanks for playing. And that is just about going to wrap things up for today's Shoutcast. A huge thank you to Tamaztec for submitting some very crazy and very chaotic battles in the Halloween Cup. Don't forget to go check him out. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you'd like your battles featured on my channel, a link to our battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.